Um, so good morning from here in Little Rock, and good evening to you all in Nigeria, and good afternoon or late evening to those who will be joining us from Europe. This is Try with Babs, and this is the very first edition for the year. We don't usually hold it on in December because of the fact that okay, everybody's planning for they are in festive mood, and then we usually hold it every last Sunday of the year of the month. That's when we have private babs, and is a forum where I just get to share some of my meditation, some of my learning, some of my gleanings from reading materials, and then even observing life generally, observing people, observing life, and then so I sort of use this platform to share some of the things I'm learning and to share with friends, family members, colleagues, and those in the internship and the apprenticeship as well, because we have internship and then we have the apprenticeship. So it's just for me to be able to, okay, share what I know and also learn from everyone that is part of the session. So it's more or less a live sharing session, interactive. I learn from you and I also share a bit of what I've learned with you. And the topic for today is recalibrating year 2025 and many years to come. Recalibrating year 2025 and many years to come. And this is the 43rd edition of Thrive with Babs. As I said, we hold it every last Sunday of the month. And what the session we are in today is the 43rd bit of this session. And these are some of the topics we have treated over time. I think we started in 2016. We started, of course, as an in-person session. Then in our office, friends, colleagues will come, and then I will just share some of these things with them. Even family members will join us as well. I will just share some of the things I'm learning, some of the things I'm meditating on, and reflecting, even some of my own sufferings, from my own sufferings, from my own learning, from nature, I share with them. And, so um, post COVID, it became a fully virtual session. And these are some of the topics that I said we've taught or that we've shared together. And one thing I always say that Thrive is not, we don't treat the usual topics, it's very bold topics that you won't ordinarily maybe hear or maybe in motivational circle or even in religious cycle. We don't talk success, it's not a motivational session. It's more or less a life sharing session. We look at the very core truths, fundamentals of life that could account for failure or success, for victory or loss. So, and we started with identity and self-definition. Then we did a 4 session series on purpose. We just look at purpose from different perspectives. And then we look from there to 3-step leap. That's the 3-step leap. What are the 3 steps you need to take from where you are to where you ought to be or to where you desire to be? And even when you get there, you have everything. What could be the missing link to you not having it all? So many topics that we've looked at. The very last session we had in November was titled "The Currency of Achievements." What are the things that super achievers know that most people do not know, and that sort of distinguish them from others, and then what makes you think. So these are some of the sessions, and they are all, at least the ones that are recorded, are all on YouTube. We'll share the YouTube links with us so that any of them that you want to listen to, you can always just go there and watch them. Help us to like this channel, subscribe, and also share with your friends who may find some of those teachings useful. So, and I always said, okay, when we look at private Bible, we look at justification of the reference. Most of the time, not all the times today, now we're not even looking at biblical text, but most of the times, these are things I'm learning from studying the Bible. I consider myself a student of the Bible. I love reading the Bible. And I also I've been trying to read it as much as I can every single day, and I've learned quite a lot of things from it. So we draw quite a lot of reference from the Bible, but not as a religious book, like I always say, but more or less like a reference, like a reference manual. And I'm able to talk a bit of confidently about that because I actually studied English literature for my first degree in UI. So I can actually engage the Bible as a literature, as a work of literature. And that is what we use. We are not using to preach at anyone. We're using to just draw references, draw inferences, draw lessons, draw certain things that we can all learn from the lives of people in that creed, and then compare those with our own present lives and situations. And one of the reasons why we look at it because it's enduring. It's one of the oldest literature that we have around with us today. is it's endured the test of time, and the lessons there, they are universally applicable. There's pretty little things that are happening now, even in this very tech age, that you can't actually find correlations of them in the Bible. People who have had similar emotions, similar experiences, even who have to deal with change in the society, in their own personal lives, in their family, and all that. And also another reason why we use it is because it's also quite relative. Some of the scenarios that we see there, we can relate to them. We can find ourselves in those experiences, in those situations, as the case may be, either good or bad. Because I mean, life is. Somebody says that human experiences are actually few. They are just replicated in various lives, in the billions of lives that we have around today. So that is quickly just to give the background to that. And then to recap the last session that we had, um, we looked at the secret of super achievers, and we consider the fact that time is the number one management skill anyone should have. There are many, I mean, we know management skills, management as in managing business, managing resources, managing people. We can manage many things, but the greatest management skill that anyone should have is time. And that is what distinguishes the secret, or that's the secret of the super achievers from those who are struggling to achieve. They have known how to master time. And I think some of the things I shared then, because I talked about the fact that we hear this saying that time is money. We can't see time, we can't hold time, but we can hold money. And why time is money is because you can use time to make money, and you can only use money to buy time. You can only make money in time, or you can lose money in time. They don't work in, I mean, they don't work together. And it says, okay, if I have time, I can make money. It doesn't always translate to that. If you do not master your time very well, you will not be able to make money, you will not be able to even achieve anything at all. Because all of us, at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, we are all credited with 24 hours. So what we do within that unit of time is what determines if we are running on the front foot or we are struggling to come in to catch up with others. And so we talked copiously about the correlation between time and money. And why? Because, if somebody who has money says, hey, do this, all of us will do it. If this, all of us should wake up at 1 a.m. and be shouting ho ho ho. And we all wake up at 1 and start shouting ho ho. Why? Because we know this person can give us money. So if you can manage time, you can manage people. And if you can manage people, then you can manage money, because all of us would rather listen to the person who can help us to make more money or to acquire wealth. And then we look at some destiny boosters and destiny drainers, things that we can do with time that can boost our destinies, boost our success rate, or drain them entirely. That session is on YouTube, as I said. So if after this session, you can just take time to go and watch it or listen to it. Today, we are starting with what we would call insight from the participants, from all of us, because, as I said, I also learn a lot from listening to everyone talking, sharing their understanding, the ideas about the topic we are engaging per day. And so we are looking at recalibration. That is the key word in our topic today. And I would like to, sample your opinion, sample your understanding. Please, can you tell us what you understand by recalibrate? And have you had to do it before? Okay, thank you. Abdul Hamid, please go ahead and tell us your understanding or your definition of recalibration.
Okay, good day,
Recalibration,
sir.
sorry. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
By recalibration,
Yes.
personally, I do believe it entails you having have your goal and plans in motion before, but haven't tried it out. But in the end, you possibly didn't get to where you're supposed to be. So you actually have to like more of like reassessing to strategize. So that is where the recalibrating come into place. That it has been put out before, but maybe you didn't get to where you needed to be. So you just need to like okay, look back at what has happened and then maybe pick the lessons and also the mistakes too from there and then make what's ahead better. That is my opinion. So
Thank you very much, Abdulhamid. I will still come back to you, but I love you use very tricky fundamentals, what you have planned to do before, what you have set out to do, you've started it, and then maybe it's not working out or it's even working out not the way you want it or not at all. And you have to now reassess, re-strategize. So have you had cause to do that before? Do you mind sharing with us if you've had any experience around that?
um I have actually.
Do you mind sharing with us, please?
Okay, say I actually I've never had the opportunity to introduce myself properly. On the first session we had for
Okay,
TRW, my device was having issue. I just graduated from the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto.
okay.
So this during my final year, I made some personal changes.
Mm,
I switching from the seat I used to sit in class to the people I used to hang out with. All through my
mm,
100 level till 400 level, I have been having issues academically.
mm,
um, I do there's what we call receipts. When you don't get to pass a course, so you get to rewrite them before, not possibly repeating. So I made the changes I made, like just switching from staying at the back to just the middle of the class, and then hanging less with those I actually do make noise with mostly. When I think it reflected in my results this my final year because I didn't get to have any receipts talk
okay.
my I had just a clear path straight. So I think that
Uh,
is what I believe I have.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us. That you have to change your company, you have to change your seat so that you could graduate, and that's a very wonderful instance to share. Anyone also willing to share with us what do you understand by recalibration, and have you had to do it before? Anyone, please, who is willing to share with us?
I comment, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I believe the recap. I believe it has to do with refocusing something in order to make it more efficient or effective.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes we have certain things that are just there, not going in in the right direction. We have to find a way to bring them, kind of refocus them so that they are more effective or efficient.
Thank you, sir. But have you had any experience where you have to refocus, reframe, or re-strategize?
Yes, the most recent one is, I mentioned to you, um, in order to do well what I've always done, I needed new skills and all of that,
Yes,
digital skills, and
yes,
but I was in a conversation with a professor friend of mine, and she said to me, sometimes you don't need new skills. You just need to refocus what you already do. I mean, you have a lot of experience in certain areas. So what exactly can you do with the experience you already have? Got talking and I realized, hey, there are a million and one things I can do with what I already have. Instead of looking for new skills, I can just kind of refocus and be better, be more effective in what I've always done.
Thank you very much, sir. I would just like to, if you don't mind me also talking a bit, just to let our participants know you a bit. Mr. Sylvester is a very accomplished professional with like 30 years, about 30 years of work experience in the editorial space. So it's not a minnow, but I mean, it's now also like, okay, well, I felt, I mean, in this, it's very grounded in editorial skills. And I mean, so he's more or less like a senior member of the internship. So I mean, that's why if he's not participating in some of the things that you guys are doing, just be mindful of that. But he felt that, okay, in this for him to also be a bit much more competitive, and maybe he has projects he needs to also do, he needs to add digital to his editorial prowess. And that's why he decided to join this internship. So he's not somebody that he should be. I mean, when he called us, he should be one of our lecturers, not one of the students. That's what I told him right away. Well, and that is just an example of recalibration. Now I need to add something or tweak something to make myself more competitive, to give myself an additional edge or additional advantage. And all of us, we have to do that at various times in our lives, at various times. But it is only the observant person who can see that, okay, what they are doing is not working, or it's not working as it should, and then they decide to what? Recalibrate, refocus, reframe. I'm just using some of the words that we've used ourselves. Refocus, reframe, re-strategize, redo it.
Yeah.
Anybody willing to also share with us before we proceed? Yes, sir.
Oh, all right, sir. I don't know if.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead, Hussein. Right.
Okay, talking about the calibrate mean to re-strategize, to readjust in order
Yeah.
to meet up with the standard.
Mm-hmm.
So just you to package and repackage yourself in order to meet up with the
Thank you very much.
let me say the present or the standard.
Yeah. Do you have an experience where you've had to do that, where you have to readjust, repackage? I like some of those keywords.
Yes, actually.
Okay,
Yes,
please share
actually,
with us.
I'm this kind of person that indoor person. So and sorry. So and then I'm a writer. Or I don't want to say I was a writer since I'm also a writer. So one of my, let me say, kind of I was talking to a friend then that I want to learn new skills, but they are telling me, see, you have a lot of things in you. The only problem we do have with you is that you don't like to kind of leave your shell and showcase what you get. So, and since then, I get opportunity of working with CJID. So, with an impressive comments from the editors. So, and after that, I just tried to re-strategize and started pitching international platform. And this has helped me a lot to have a lot of publication in different media. I just had to re-strategize to change my way to leave the shell in order to make sure that I meet up with the standard.
Wow,
And also take some courses, which helped me actually.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Do you have any other thing to say? Now, the question I want to ask us, all of us, please. Your 2025, I know it's just 25 days or 25 and a half days old. Is it going as you anticipated when the year started? Or as you projected? That's not part of the slide. It's just one of the off-the-cuff comments. Is 2025 going for you the way you anticipate? Do you think there's a need for us to, for you, for me to recalibrate 2025? I obviously have a need to recalibrate 2025, and I'll quickly share my own experience as well. Currently in the US, I just came, I was formerly in UK, came to US January 8th or so. And, there are certain things I've planned, I was going to do. There are some projects I needed to come and get on. But coming here, I've been overwhelmed because, I'm actually technically functioning in 3 time zones, functioning in US time zone where I am. My family is in the UK. I have to function there. And you guys are in Nigeria, and I have, things of all manner of things going in Nigeria that I also have to function in that time zone. So it can be really overwhelming for me at times. I'm having to operate in 3 different time zones. Firstly, my sleep was crazy, no sleeping pattern and all that. But yesterday I was just telling myself, hey, there are certain things I need to do in order to achieve what some of the things I'd set out to do to get done this year. I had my eyes on my PhD that I need to start working on. As I said, there's a project I need to start here in the US that I also need to work on. And I was like, hey, see, that 25, and that's what actually, inspired the topic, recalibration. Because now I'm like, oh, boy, 25 days is almost gone, and some of these things I've not even started. I've not even started at all. Okay, I started some, and I was like, no, I need to recalibrate. I need to get a greater fervency in terms of doing what I need to do. And I had to, I can't, I'm just looking at my board now. I just listed some of those things that I need to, guys. So as I'm sitting by my desk, I'm looking at, hey, you have to get on this. Okay, there are like 10 of them. I've already struck one off the list because, okay, I've already achieved that. But the others, okay, I'm like halfway done with one, and I was like, I need to recalibrate. Okay, my sleep is now getting a bit more regular because, at times, I don't even have sleeping pattern, but, it's not getting regular. I need to get things done the way they should be so that I can achieve all those things that I've said I was going to get done between now and June. And that is what we're talking about today. So I don't know if anybody also has any experience to share with us. Your 2025, what is it looking like? What is it looking like? Do you think you need to recalibrate, or do you think you're on course? And then, so that we can share you, because you are the kind of people that are already smashing it for 2025. Anybody willing to share with us? 2025, do you think you need to recalibrate now before it gets too late, or you are already on a roll, you are smashing it? Anyone, please? Okay, I guess that's a bit, nobody's willing to talk. Should I call somebody?
Sir, I would love to speak.
Okay, sir, please.
Thank you again, sir. I think personally, again, I would say I think I'm on course. Yes, being here it's beautiful. It's a sign that I'm actually on course because I got the link for the registration of this event from my friend. I just told him I have been playing with my writing all this while. I know I write, but I never took my writing seriously. So maybe this year, 2025, I will maybe see where I can go with my writing. So he just sent me a link one day and said, "See this thing I found, just register for him." Sorry for using that, sir. So this is what he found that I should actually register for it. So I think it was middle of the night around 2 a.m. I just registered. I just registered it freely. And he was even the one that told me that I should go and check my mail that they are responding to but people that registered. So when I saw it, I was like, wow, maybe things are about to go in place for me. Then aside that, before the new year, I have this book of mine where I do like maybe write the things I want to achieve down, everything that okay, I just finished pharmacy school now, so possibly I'll be going for internship and then like the things I need to actually put in place for the year. So I also included the books I want to read, books I want to read. I wrote in the plans that I will be reading 3 books per month. And those books will be focused on primarily poetry, fiction, and then one self-help. So I for that itself, I drafted aside from writing them down, I also drafted how my days are going to be, like when I'm going to read, like basically like a schedule of my days. So currently, as I'm speaking, today is the 26th of January. I I have finished. I have finished reading 2 of the books. The self-help I'm currently reading it's the one I'm not done with. That's deep work. As for the fiction, I was reading A Kind of Madness by Uche Okonkwo, and the poetry book I was reading was A River Dies of Tears by Mahmoud Darwish. So both day and night, I get to read them, and before I know it's everything is going in place for me. So I think I'm on course, and possibly when it
You are doing awesome, Abdulhamid.
when it comes
I
when
mean,
it comes
I'm
to
clapping for you here. You know, I see.
thank you very much, sir. So in terms of recalibration too, we might never be too perfect with our plans. So I believe as I advance, possibly there might be need for recalibration. So I will still be open to that.
Wow.
Wow.
That's inspiring. I think I'm just inspired listening to you, honestly.
Wow,
And
thank you,
that
sir.
is the way it should be. I mean, anybody willing to share with us? I mean, you don't have to be as upbeat. I think somebody is making us to echo. Can we mute ourselves, please? Don't have to be as upbeat as Abdulhamid shared. I just shared my own. Hey, man, I had all these things planned out, and I was like, hey, I have not been able to achieve maybe even half of them, and that is what. Hey, you've got to sit down and then recalibrate. What do I need to do? What needs to move? What needs to also change? And that's why we're also here today. And you know, we have a very upbeat, account from Abdulhamid. Anybody want to also share with us their own 2025, how it's been? Is it looking as you planned or as you hoped, or things can be better? And you need
Okay.
to.
I come in, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. One of the things I decided I would do this year. All my life I've been writing, or writing for other people. I decided I will write more for myself, and get my articles published in newspapers. Had conversations with friends, and I said that because I didn't want to be overwhelmed, I will do one article every 2 weeks. Somehow I don't know how I ended up trying to do weekly articles, and I think I'm already on that pressure. Because another thing I also told myself I'll do is like go back to my PhD program, done with coursework research.
Wow.
That one hasn't quite started. The whole of last year I didn't do anything about it. So I said this year, and now I'm finding myself focusing so much on writing articles.
Hello.
The research thing is still hanging somewhere. So I need to recalibrate. I need to get back to that and refocus and strategize so that I can actually start doing that in addition to writing the articles and getting them published, so that writing articles doesn't disturb me from going back to the research work.
That's true. Thank you very much for sharing with us, sir. Anybody willing to share before we proceed?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yes, it's me. Yes.
Please.
So, I have these manuscripts that I've been on since 2022. It's based on politics thing because I was involved in the APC presidential primary, which I wanted to share my experiences and what I saw. And so, but at the time, my mom passed on. So many things happened at the same time. 2023, I didn't even. But last year I said I would pick it up again to do it, but so many things. So it's one of my, what's it called? But the funny thing is that I have not even, I've finished the manuscript. What I just want to do now is to get a prominent figure in the Buhari administration to write a forward so that I can go to press, because that's that would be the marketing angle for me. So, but the funny thing is I've not even made so much efforts. 25 days to 2025. Yeah, okay. But I think we'll do it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I mean, it's a good thing that you're sharing with us. I think I also have a similar experience with Agam manuscript, but but I'm sure you'll be able to get it done. Now that we are talking about this, we just need to recalibrate, and then maybe we'll pick one or two things from the session today as we continue, and then that will help us to actually know what to do and then get it done. Please, if you don't have a pen and paper, you can just try and get one now, so that because at some point we'll just need to do some scribbling so that we know we can have takeaways after this session. It's a very short session today, as we also had the last time we met. But for our pause and ponder pointer today, somebody, I saw it online, said that edit your life frequently and ruthlessly. It's your masterpiece after all. Edit your life frequently and ruthlessly. It is your masterpiece after all. That is your life, your career, your journey is your own masterpiece. So you should cultivate the discipline of editing it frequently and ruthlessly too. That is without emotions, without sentiment. I don't know, does any of us agree with this? Or this guy is just talking out of point?
I agree with it.
Okay, thank you. Any other person agree, or you think it's what does it mean I should edit my life ruthlessly? Because then I was like, hey, what do you mean ruthlessly? But that is, you have to be very dispassionate in analyzing yourself, in appraising yourself, in decoding what are the things that are working, what are those that are not working, how do I make those that are working to work, that are not working to work, and those that are working, how do I make them better? It's a process. So that means even life, we are talking, this is an internship about editorial and digital skills. And now we are now using that word, that edit now, to life. Most of us will think of edit in terms of publications, media stuff. Now we are now applying it to life, that our life ought to be edited frequently. Frequently can be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Even yearly is too long. Quarterly is fine. I think that should be the farthest you can go. This quarter now, what have I done that I said I was going to do? Have I done them? Am I still lagging behind? Why? Ruthlessly, and tell yourself the truth. I always say that the greatest insult anybody can pay himself or herself is to lie to yourself. You can lie to people, but I mean, well, it's not as if it's good to lie, but you should never lie to yourself. I do not lie to myself. Never lie to yourself. Why? Because it's the greatest insult you can actually give yourself. You know, this is not the truth, and you are insisting on it. So we should cultivate that discipline of editing our lives, editing and doing it frequently, daily self-appraisal. What have I achieved today? And it is not all about achievement. Okay, what have I even got done? Who have I blessed? Who have I been a blessing to? Who have I helped today? Who have I also moved from where they are to where they should be? What have I done to myself? What have I done to the society of people? It's something that all of us should take note of. The skill, the discipline of editing ourselves and doing it frequently, doing it ruthlessly, because the better we get at it, the better our life will be. And I look at the dictionary for the spelling of calibration and sorry, the meaning, and I'm glad because as we're all talking, some of us were actually replicating some of these dictionary terms. With calibration, the first that instead of calibrate something again or differently. And so you can't even talk of recalibration without first talking of calibrating. That is the root word. Calibrate that's where it starts from. And I now look at calibrate, which is talking about correlating the readings with those of a standard. There's a standard, there's a goal, there's a benchmark, and you're now correlating against the benchmark. This thing is it measuring up or not measuring up? Or adjust so I can take it, and by taking external factors into account. Okay, what I want to do this, what could be the externalities that will impinge on my doing it at all, or even the way I should do it? What are the externalities? What are those external factors that can affect it being done or not being done at all? And then to carefully assess, set or adjust something. These are what Oxford Dictionary proceeds in terms of describing or defining calibration and recalibration. And I'm glad some of us were talking about before. And then what we're now doing to adjust so that we can get that before envisioned result. And quickly, I must say really that it's important for us to calibrate what is important and be very, very clear about what needs calibration. There's a need for clarity. Why? Because it's possible for us to be majoring on minor stuff, pursuing what is not really consequential because I want to calibrate or recalibrate. It's better to calibrate the important things. What needs to be calibrated, not because you just want to do it just for doing its sake. Because somebody says that one of the greatest tragedies of life is to scramble so hard to climb the ladder of success, only to discover at the end of it that ladder is leaning on the wrong wall. Try to imagine what the effort, the stress to climb that ladder, and then not get there, not get to the top, now see that, geez, it's actually on the wrong wall. I just want to say that's one of the tragedies of life. So we need to be clear. What do we need to calibrate or recalibrate? Is it important? It's not every problem that one should solve. That's the truth. It's not every problem that needs solving. There are some that are just okay. They are not consequential maybe to your destiny, to your career, to your marriage, to your family, to whatever. So you've got to be able to prioritize what is really important, what is inconsequential. so that we don't apply energy on the wrong end. That is like climbing that proverbial ladder of success that is on the wrong wall. So, to our little exercise today, critical questions, there are just 3 of them. If you ask yourself, who or what do you want to be? Who or what do I want to be? Now we are being clear now. Have you ever asked yourself that question before? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be? Please, you can just take some time to think deeply about this and to note it down. Who do I want to be? Or what do I want to be? Who speaks to the persona? What talks of the accomplishment, the status? I want to be a writer. I want to be a mentor. I want to be a gospeler. I want to be a soccer superstar. What do I want to be? Who do I want to be? I want to be a reader. I want to be an author, a published author. I want to be a great person. I want to be a successful person. I want to be a responsible man. I want to be a virtuous woman. Who do I want to be? What do I want to be? You have to write that down, because we are talking of calibration here. And here, this is when we are calibrating. We are determining, specifying who I want to be. I want to be a PhD holder. I want to be a successful entrepreneur. Who do you want to be? What do you want to be? Critical question 2. What do you need to do to become it? What do I need to do to have a PhD degree? What do I need to do to be a successful entrepreneur? What do I need to do to fulfill my goal in life, to fulfill my destiny? What do you need to do? These are basic questions, aren't they? Very basic, nothing complex or techy or out of place about them. These are normal, everyday questions. What do I need to do to become who I want to be or what I want to be? Please take time to write this. You can have as many as, God knows, 10, 12, 15, 20, but don't make it too long so that you also don't overwhelm yourself with many. So that's why we say you must edit frequently and ruthlessly. Be non-sentimental about it. Be dispassionate about it. What do I need to do to become a doctor, to become a lawyer, to become a writer, to become a published author, to become a coach, to become a motivational speaker, whatever you want to be? What do you need to do to become a millionaire or a billionaire? What do I need to do? What are the things I need to do? And then the last question: what is stopping you? What is stopping me from becoming, from doing it, from attaining it, from doing it? what is stopping you? What is stopping me? That is the last question. Because the truth is that oftentimes we give ourselves stress by, and we maybe reduce our chances of succeeding by just drumming up things that shouldn't be, by promoting things that are not consequential, that are not important. There's lots of mental noise going on that is stopping us from becoming what we want to be, from achieving what we set out to achieve, from fulfilling our goals. Noise that are not important. So you really need to know and be brutal with yourself. What is really, really, really stopping you? What is stopping me? Is it time? Is it laziness? Is it WhatsApp? Is it phone? Is it phone? Phone is one of the, the last meeting we talked about destiny drainers, and phone is one of the things we highlighted as a destiny drain. It drains you. Too much time on WhatsApp, too much time chatting that are not beneficial, that are not adding value to you, adding value to the other person. Phone is a major distraction these days. What is stopping you from becoming? I love when Abdulhamid was talking about this. 3 books in a month, and he's already ate 2 of them, so he has just 1 to go. That is somebody who is focused, who is disciplined. What is stopping you? Is it indiscipline? Or is it the other things that we're just calling, just citing? What is stopping me? And that is the third critical question that we need to take home. Then just a little talk about dealing with mental noise. You need to know, all of us know there are mental noises all over the place. So we need to know what are those and then deal with them. Mental noise is what I'm telling myself, oh, I don't have enough money. I don't know enough people who will help me. I don't have anyone. All those, that mental noise. We just deliberately try to clog and actually, disrupt ourselves from achieving, from fulfilling, from moving forward by drumming up excuses. And another thing, it can come from the most harmless sources, from the most enduring sources, maybe spouses, wife, husband, children can constitute mental noise, parents, friends, siblings. And they don't mean harm, they are just being caring. And that can be a mental noise. You want to achieve something, why not? Do we have enough? Can we do that now? And they sound very, very understanding, but they can, those kind of counsel, those kind of inferences can actually, cut short somebody's chances of achieving success. So you've got to know what is a mental noise that would obstruct me from achieving my goal, from achieving my set objectives. What are my mental noise? And another thing is that it's possible you might have achieved what you desire without knowing. Because human beings can also be so hard on ourselves, and without knowing that we have actually achieved this thing. I remember there's an anecdote I read. I'm sure maybe some of us, but I've read it about an MBA student, fresh from the university, graduated from Harvard, and traveled to one village, in an Asian community, and he saw this humble fishermen who have, who just finished, catching the fish for the day, and they caught the fish, and then they went to sell them, and then they retired with their family, and were just lounging by the seaside where they live. And this guy said, "Hey, do you know you can actually do better than this?" that, instead of you retiring this early, I mean, why not catch the fish for longer hours so that you can have more fish that you bring home and then you can sell more. And the guy said, hey, interesting. So if I do that, what next? I said, yes. I mean, when you do that, you start having more sales. After more sales, you can also start to, get bigger boats, bigger equipment to catch more fish, even employ more people to be catching fish for you. So, wow, that's grand. So what next after that? Say, yeah, I tell you, it's now getting more interesting than when you now have this fleet of boats that are catching fish for you. You can also scale up, get bigger, register your company, have your own fishing line and all that, and start to go big. And just say, wow, that's very interesting. So what next after I've done that? And I say, oh, it's getting then now when you start having this, then you can travel to any parts of the world and also start to have foreign partners that you sell fish to in other continents of the world. And I say, wow, I can be that. I say, what next? So after that, what next? That is getting more and more interesting that you now have this global line of fishing company and people will be buying your fish. So when you now be a multi-millionaire, say, wow, I would like to have. So what next after that? I said, okay, hey, then when you can now retire and then now get a small cabin home with your family and just don't work for a long time and you just lounge by the sea, don't work for a long time, just lounge and be relaxing. I said, but that's what I have now. That's what I'm doing right now. I don't need to work for longer hours. So, but it's possible that people can become mental noise to us and we might have achieved what we wanted without even realizing it. But so in that kind of scenario, that's why you need to be very brutal with yourself and access, am I having it? Am I not having it? What do I need to do to get it if I really need to have it? Then it's also possible that you do not need all the things you think you need to start or achieve your goal. So you need to be brutally honest with yourself. You need to be brutally honest. Even when you think you have everything, what is the next step? What is the next stage? Because the room for improvement is the largest room in the world. There's always something you can improve, something you can add, something you can tweak, something you can change to have a better outlook. And for our final thoughts as we bring the session to a close, I have some quotes there say, never sacrifice who you think you could be in the future to who you think you are right now. Identity isn't found, it is made. Never sacrifice who you think you could be in the future to who you think you are right now. Identity is never found. It is made. You have to make your own identity. Theo James also said that if you always do what you have always done, you will always be where you have always been. Doing what you have always done, being where you have always been. Then another author says that reset, readjust, restart, refocus as many times as you need to. You have to keep refocus, reset, readjust as many times as you need to. The only person you should try to be better than is the person you were yesterday, the person you were last week, the person you were last month, last year. Don't enter meaningless competition with people. Be true to yourself. Do not be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to even try at all. That is the one you should be afraid of. I did not even try at all. That is the greatest strategy. It's not, the greatest tragedy is not failure. Failure is a learning curve. The tragedy is in not even trying at all. And Jim Rohn says that I used to say I hope things will change. Then I learned that the only way things are going to change for me is when I change, when I calibrate or recalibrate. Thanks for being part of the session today. We have this community. As I said, we've been doing this for a while now. You can join the, I don't know if Mary is dropping the links. You can join the link here to join the WhatsApp group, also Facebook page. Then all these sessions, they're on YouTube. So if you click on just search for Babatunde Daily on YouTube, you will see it, and then you can also and also have a website that was gifted to me that you can also see some of my notes, some of my writings, some of my thoughts and reflections as I share them from time to time. So these are the channels where we can connect with some of these things, the video, the text, the designs, and then so that we can all, and if you agree with any, please, if you don't, I'll be willing to actually let's discuss it. So thanks. And then do we have questions before we close the session for this month? Questions or comments? Anyone, please? Questions, comments, objections? If you don't agree, fine. We're all here to learn from one another. As I said, it's a sharing session. Objections? Okay. I want to say thank you very much to everyone for joining it today. If there is no question, there's no, I think we can call it a night. I want to say thanks for joining in and have a fantastic remainder of January and a wonderful February and 2025 ahead. From Little Rock here, bye and good night.